What's good, everybody? Robin in here checking in. We are back in the purple room with a 49th episode of PillowTalk podcast. You already know Chicago's top podcast of 2020-23. Okay, 2020-2023 and 2024. Hopefully. So today I'm super excited to have a guest in the building. This is a long overdue interview. I had the chance of seeing him perform earlier this year, I believe, at Corey Ether's album release party. Definitely did your thing there. So we have Chase Davidson in the building.
What's going on, everyone? What's up, Robin? Thank you for inviting me on, having me on the PillowTalk podcast. It's, a long time coming, but been excited. Been following what you've been doing and very much been looking forward to coming on.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is long overdue. Like I said, I was able to see you do your thing earlier this year. I was like, okay, you got a little swag to you. You came on the mic, you did your stuff. So I really want to get, into your musical background and, of course, just who you are.
Yeah, well, let's kick it from there, because that's kind of like, I think we met out at the last version of Tribe, where Corey's thing was at. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the first time I met you. Yeah. Because it was his event that he had going on. He had like 5 or 6 different artists out. Then it was his whole album release that he had going on. And you were like interviewing Corey. Yeah, shout out Ether. Ether's awesome. Ether's so cool. Yeah, Ether's super cool. If you don't know Ether, he's like a producer, designer. If you see Ether around, you know it's Ether because he's got his name on his clothes. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. And that was a lot of fun because that was my first time really being like as a featured artist at someone's performance like that. And we had just worked on maybe like 3 weeks before that or something. He's out at Tribe all the time. Like he would host the open mics that were there. Okay. Which was... We're getting into things a little bit. I really started going out. I've been performing in the city for over a year and a half. Mm-hmm. No, more than that, almost 2 years. But when I didn't know, when I first started doing this, I literally knew no one. Okay. Like not anyone. So I was like, I'm on Instagram, I'm looking up Chicago open mics. Yeah. Because I don't want to perform out where I live. I live out in the suburbs. I'm like, I want to go into the city. Cause I know where that's it.
What suburb are you from?
I'm around Brookfield Zoo, if you guys know where that's from. Okay. I'm about 5 minutes from there. I'm around LaGrange. Me and Corey are kind of close, actually, low key. But I ended up, Corey's great energy, and he saw me out there performing. He's like, you know what? Let me send you some beats. And I'm like, all right, let me check it out and see what you got going on. And he sent through a pack of beats, and the song I did that night that you were there, that was the song we did. He sent it to me, and we probably had that song done in 2 hours once I heard the beat.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes it goes like that.
Okay.
Sometimes you just end up catching a vibe and something will be done in 2 hours. I might have a song that takes a year and a half and I gotta be certain parts need to be, sometimes life needs to happen for a song to write itself. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes you get, what's the name of that song? See, I know how it goes in my head.
What?
The song I did with Ether, I was trying to think of the name of it. I'm terrible with the names. That's okay, whatever. But it is out. That's funny.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so you're from the suburban area around Brookfield Zoo. Okay, shout out to Brookfield Zoo. Love that place.
Yeah, super dope. Yeah.
So growing up for you then, have you always loved music, or was there a moment where you really started writing or kind of wanted to do music?
For me, I've pretty much been surrounded with music my whole life. I grew up in a very musical family. My mom and dad both sang. My mom still sings to this day. She's in a group. With a couple of her friends. She does choir stuff. My dad also acted. So I've been around it, pretty much my whole life. Listening from anything from Elton John to Outkast to Drake to, you find your other things in between. But, for Christmas music, we're coming around, starting to get into the holiday season, that type of stuff. And for me, it's just something that I gravitated towards because I just kind of raised in that type of environment. So naturally, growing up, I watch a lot of the Disney movies. We're singing along to all the songs that are going on, stuff like that. And I ended up just, I got the opportunity. My mom and family kind of convinced me to pick up an instrument. And the first thing that I think I think piano came first. It was I could do piano, and then there was also band, which was a different thing. That was through school. I ended up doing oboe than saxophone through that, but I was off that quick. I was not feeling it.
You weren't feeling a saxophone?
No, but I love piano.
Okay.
But I was that kid that took the piano lessons. It was after 3 or 4 years, I'm I don't want to do any of the stuff out of the books. Like I'm over it.
Okay.
Like I'm just like I'm already trying to make my own songs, and like my teacher can tell, like I'm just like not putting the time into the books at all. Like I don't care. Like I'm just don't have the energy. Like I don't want to learn like Little Lamb Joe, whatever is in the book, you know, like so.
Little Lamb Joe.
Yeah, right. So I'm just, yeah, you know, I feel like that's kind of where it started for me as piano, like for my own like personal, where I really started getting into it, and that's when I started like just on the piano alone, like I'd start making songs that were just piano oriented, or me singing with piano and something like that put together, which, you know, was the starting point for like where this has all gone, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. The piano's cool. It definitely seems hard. I think I only ever learned chopsticks. That was really the end of my piano career. But that's dope. I mean, knowing how to play any instrument, I think, as an artist is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just like, that's just kind of how my life went. And I also produce, so some of the records that I do, like, I'll produce myself. And especially when I got started, I didn't know anyone, and I wanted to be able to, because I came from the background of playing piano. So I'm like, I wanted to learn how to produce, because I like playing piano. Like, I wanted to be able to navigate stuff, and it ended up really working out and helping me a lot that I ended up knowing piano, because I don't know how, I know you're probably familiar enough where it's like if you see people produce, they might be, the sounds you hear might be like violins and stuff, but most of the time people are doing off a MIDI keyboard. So like being able to operate and move around on a piano, at least at that level, like that was really helpful for me, because then I could just go in and automatically, like I'm coming up with ideas, getting different types of instrument sound banks and different things that I can come up with to make different types of sounds and a different type of feeling, you know, for the records. Yeah.
Nice. So you produce as well? You self-taught?
Yes. Definitely self-taught, and definitely a lot of trial and error. Yeah.
What was the first step? Did you do the YouTube University, or what was the first step?
Yeah, no, I didn't. All YouTube. And I'm similar to my, you know, my teachings in piano. Shout out to Miss Hanscom. She was my piano teacher. So shout out. Let's give her a blessing. Yeah, she was awesome.
We definitely gonna shout her out.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. She's great woman, very nice, very generous person. So I just want to give her a shout out. That's my actual piano teacher. And but similar to my piano teacher, I could watch videos for a certain amount of time, but then I'd be like, I just gotta do it myself.
Yeah.
Like I just had the same thing. It'd be like, let me just figure it out. Like, so, and for me, like, all I need is a sound. I need just give me one sound. Like, give me one sound, whether it's like just like a really like soothing pad, and I can just start playing chords to and figure out, like, for me, when I approach music, it's always like, what's the feeling? What's like the energy of the song, and is it something that's soothing? You know, we're in the purple room right now. You know, PillowTalk. Is it something soothing? Is it something calming in here? Is this something like we're up tempo? Like it's that type of time. Like we gotta get busy on this. So to be able to have my own ability, if I have a feeling inside of me that I want to be able to get out and express, like I wanted to be able to do that musically for myself, to create like a canvas to go on, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I like that, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know what you want to hear when it comes to your sound, so it's only right that you know how to kind of lay that blueprint for it.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. So, like, as you started learning about producing and, you know, doing the trial and error, what did it feel like that first time, you know, when you really put together that song and you played it back and you were like, oh, shit, you know, or that beat, and you made it and it was just, like, fire? How did you feel in that moment? It's
the best feeling ever. Like, and I genuinely mean that. And you know the other great thing about it happens? It's just about every new song I make. So it's like, you always think like, this song's the best song ever. Like, and then you're like, wait a second, this next song I did is the best song ever. And then you get like 10 songs down later and you're like, that first song wasn't so good. But you know what? You just keep making steps, and you're like, I like that. And that's it for me. Like I'm kind of like a dopamine. Like I love getting that rush when like you're like, you know, something is like, it's similar with performing, and performing came like later for me, much later. Like I spent a lot of time doing producing. I wasn't even really like going out, and we can talk about this too. Like for me, one of the great things that I've gotten out of music, outside of music, but directly related, is it's forced me to evolve as a person, because there's a lot of different things that, like, just going out and performing in Chicago. Like I started doing that 2 years ago, and I was never going out into the city for any reason, like ever. Like the only time I was going out to do something was like if I'm doing work or like maybe seeing a friend on occasion. But going out to do music, you know, like I have all these songs I want to perform. And it's like that was and still is like the thing that's like every single time I go out, that's like the challenge. It's like that's and when I first started, it was like there's so many levels to it because it's like different environments, different people. I don't know anyone. Like I literally didn't know anyone. And it's just like getting out. Okay, I looked up the first place I went and performed at was I know the name of it. I just saw it today. They had their ad popped up for their screen. It's on North Halstead. It's like in the city. It's like deep in the city. I'll think of it later. But it's a bar. Okay. It's a music bar, and they have. I was just like, okay, this is the first place I found. I'm gonna go there, and I was like, so like I don't get nervous, but I get like adrenaline. I get anxious. Okay. And it's like, even now, but I think that's a good thing. Yeah. Because if it's like, if there's anything I actually care about, like I always have a level of adrenaline. It's just like a matter of like, I recognize that like I want to like lean into that, and I think a lot of times like this is just like a life thing. Like I feel like I knew at the beginning. Like some people, like I'm out at open mics or whatnot or doing performances, and I talk to people there. Like I'm fascinated by people. And like a conversation I was having with this girl the other day who was out there just hanging out. She wasn't really trying to perform, but she was doing music a little bit. So I was kind of like picking her brain and like trying to figure out like why don't you want to perform? Like I was kind of curious on like that type of level. And where I'm going with this is that like a lot of people are just like afraid to like to put themselves out there. But I think you gotta like my approach from the very beginning when I started this is like I'm just inexperienced. I think a lot of people make the mistake of like I'm bad. I can't do this thing, and they wire their brain that way. But like I just took it from the perspective of like, okay, this is new to me. Expectations. The only expectation this is what I told the girl the other day. The only expectation I had for myself when I did it is, did I do it? Did I go up and perform? Like, did I go and do it? Like, did I get out there? Did I go do whatever I had to do? And I think if you start like from a place like that. And then in my head, I just knew like, well, I'm just gonna out rap everyone, so that doesn't matter. So like, if I get 1% better every single time, that's gonna add up. Like, and I'm not gonna just get 1% better. So it's just like, you just keep building up. You figure out like, and something for me was like, I think there's like an element of like performing and going up where it's like, I think there's some like staple things that are just like important for performing, but then there's also like the aspect of like finding what you like and how you want to like conduct yourself and how you want to present yourself out there to people. And that's like an element that, I mean, like I'm doing that all the time still, but I think like that it helped me even with writing my music, because once. And I would definitely encourage this for people that are at home, that are just producers or just like getting into, you know, I was there, like I get it. Like if you're just producing, you're just making songs, like you haven't actually gone out and performed, try your songs out somewhere. Like try your songs out in a real environment, because you're going to see how it feels for you. And you'll be like, oh, okay, I like that, but maybe I didn't like this song because it was a certain type of energy. Right. And for me, it's helped with my writing, because now I also know like, you probably feel this too, but like someone can be performing and they might have like a break in their song for like 20 seconds or like an intro where it's just like there's 20 seconds to start it. Well, when I first started going, it would just be blank. There'd be nothing there. I'd just be like, you know, kind of like, okay, I'm gonna wait till the chorus goes or whatever. But now it's like I use that time to like talk. I talk like if there's dead space, like you it's like engaging people. That's what I like personally, and like taking through that. So. Man, like I said, like there's so many levels to performing, and like I've gotten so much. Like if I never did music ever again, like if I just like completely stopped. By the way, on the eve of the night of my third product dropping,
we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Hold on. We're gonna get to that definitely.
But
definitely. So before we continue, definitely want to kind of take it back a little bit. You said a lot, you know, in that, just as far as performing and growing as an artist. So when you did start getting more comfortable, you know, in that element, how did you feel? Like, were you comparing what you did before to that? Were you able to kind of read the crowd better? What were some other things that you kind of took into consideration as you were like building that 1% each time?
Okay, so I should have mentioned this, and thank you for saying that, because that you made me think of something that was really important. The other thing I did going into it, and I had like the mindset of doing so when I went into it. So I guess there was 2 expectations. The first one is, did I go up and do it? And the second one is, I need to film myself doing it. So I have a camera that I would bring out, and I still bring it out all the time, and I film my performances. And obviously, for the social media era we're in, great, that's there for that. But what it's really there for is so I can go back and watch it. I'm not going off memory. I'm not looking at, I'm kind of like a fiend. Like, I love performing. Like, I love this stuff. So I do look up other artists, and I do look up people that I like. And I'm like, okay, what is stuff that they like? But I would really encourage people, and I know how helpful it's been for myself to have the recordings of yourself. Because then you can see. And, like, it can be a little painful to watch at times, like, especially when you start going.
But that's a good mirror. That's a good thing. That's good advice.
Yeah.
I really love that, though. No, he dropping the gems, y'all, for real. He dropping gems. It's a lot of artists that, like, they have these viral songs and whatever the case is, and then their performance just flat, And I think what you're, to your point, that they probably don't watch themselves back or have that certain camera that's really like focusing on them to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. I mean, it's a simple tool, but it's very effective. Now you can look at that mirror and see, like, okay, I was tired here, I was sweating here, the crowd wasn't feeling that. Like, I love that.
And I think, too, like, even when you're going, like, when I first started, like, I'm not beating myself up, like, when I'm doing this type of stuff. It's just like, okay, here we go. Here's the foundation. This is where we're at. This is what we can improve. Here's the things you can improve. The next thing I would say, like, going off of that, and this is something, like, if I was to go back in time and tell myself, like, a year ago, I would tell myself this, is get yourself in different environments as soon as you can. Because for me, good and bad, but there was the store. That's the name of the first place I went to. I thought of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the place. Shout out to them, because they're, it's a dope little spot. They have, like, a little bar in the side room. Is like, they have, like, a little music room going on. It was mostly acoustic people. So I was, like, one of the only people going in there doing hip-hop, pop, but the cool thing is they gave little, like, I still have them. They have, like, little CDs. They recorded people's performances. So I have, like, the 3 or 4 ones from, like, when I first was going. So that's kind of cool. There was another venue I went to after that. There was, like, kind of, some of the people knew each other, called Gallery Cabaret, and I went there, like, a lot. There's another bar, another, like, mainly acoustic place. And I got, like, a lot of reps, a lot of practice, a lot of, like, just getting comfortable doing my own material on stage. I would say, though, one thing, if I would go back to that time period, like, I would have found more different places to perform when I was doing that, during that, because once I did go and find different opportunities to go and perform in different spots, I got way more perspective fast, and I got better a lot faster, and it helped me, like, realize, because sometimes you just don't know. It's like, if you're the biggest thing on your island, or, like, not even that. That's not even a good way to put it. But you get what I'm saying. It's like, you don't get to see what's going on this island, what's going on over here, what's going on, and it's like, because the first time I went out to, there's a venue that I perform at all the time called Lyrics and Libations, it's actually the Hairpin Art Center.
Nice.
Yeah, I was literally there yesterday.
Okay,
So
shout out to the venues. Chase be outside, y'all. Okay. Chase be outside.
That's for sure. Yeah. The first time I went there, that was the first real, like, no, that's not true. That was the second hip hop place I've been to.
Okay.
But it was the first hip hop place that was, they do it every week.
Okay.
And when I went there, this is funny. This shout out OG. This, if he watches this, he's gonna think this is funny. But the first time I went there, everyone was performing. There was, like, huge groups of people. I knew no one. It looked like everyone was, like, crewed up the first time I went there, and, like, everyone was like, "Yo, what's up?" And I'm like, I don't know anyone. Like, I just want to do my songs, and, like, please, like, let me get it right. Like, and it was funny because you probably know OG Blackman. That's his name. So
Sound familiar.
Brother Bakeness.
Okay.
If you know, you know. Greatest cakes in Chicago, right? Okay, so he was out there. I didn't know him yet at the time, but he had this thing behind the DJ there that had a sign that was like, "Stop performing over lyrics," and he was, like, kind of joking about it, but, like, kind of not joking about it. And I never considered that ever. like when I was like out performing, like it was just never something that like I was really in my atmosphere. When I got there, I'm like, oh, okay. So like that time I was like, okay, I wasn't like mentally prepped to do that today. I didn't consider it.
Yeah.
But then the next time, like I never did it again. Like that was the last time I did it. So like from there on out, like it was like, oh, okay, I got it. And then it's like, I wouldn't have had that perspective though, but I got it instantly the moment I went there.
Facts.
So it was like, to be able to see that, like, I'm happy with how my life's going, how everything's progressed, but if I was to say to someone that was like out there, get perspective, get in different places as soon as you can.
I love that, Chase. I love that. I love the vulnerability right now because, you know, you got to be honest about it. I mean, you know, being in the genre and then going to those different spaces where it is like predominantly rap or it is a certain crowd that may be there or they may be clicked up. I just love how fearless you are. Like, I'm here to perform. I'm here to work. I'm here to, you know, do my thing. And that's how you have to be as an artist. You can't be scared or intimidated about the environment if you want the opportunity.
Yeah, and I feel like even too, like I'm like real talk, like a lot of times I am scared, like, or especially like when it's new stuff, or it's like you might have a level of like adrenaline going, or you want to really like have the things go well, so you want to control everything. Like I know I get that way sometimes, but I think like the best thing you can do is lean into that, because once you get through, like when you run into fear and you run through the things that like if you genuinely want to do it, like just go do it, because no one's really gonna care at the end of the day. Like it is what it is to you, and like once you see, it's like, what's a good comparison? I don't know, but if you go do something that you think is scary in your head, it's probably not even like, it's nothing. Like once you actually go up and do it, like a lot of times, like 30 seconds into a set, if I have any adrenaline, it's just gone. Like it's just gone, like because you're in it then. And you're gonna feel so much better about yourself after you went and did it, because you're like, I did this thing that I said I was gonna go do, and like I was like, I had thoughts about it, and we overcame it. We made it happen. So that's been like, you know, whatever the obstacles are. And there's always like things for me even now where it's like, it might be a new environment. It might be like, okay, maybe the stakes are a little bit higher here. Or maybe this is like, I'm here, you know, it's like, this is dope. It's a different, like a podcast. Like I was telling Robin, I've never done like an in-person podcast before. So I'm like, this is dope. This is gonna be new for me. I like new things. Like I like a challenge, but it's like, as long as I think you care about it, you're just gonna like, everything will work out.
Absolutely, y'all. I'm loving the vibes. I'm loving the energy. This is some good positivity right now. Artists, definitely make sure y'all taking some notes, because you need this type of, you know, integrity inside of you, definitely. So I want to get into the music. We got to get into the sound, you know, a little bit and dive into that. So you did send me some clips. I was able to hear some of your music and just really get a feel of who you are. But to me, I definitely think you are in that like hip hop pop era. But you do have a nice balance. But for you, how would you describe, you know, your sound to people?
Yeah, I mean, you like hit it right on the head. Like I like doing everything between pop and hip hop. Like my project that's dropping tonight, which I guess you guys will be hearing in a couple of days. You'll be hearing this in a couple of days. Love All is dropping tonight. It's my third full-length project. So I would say, yeah, for sure. This is this project I would say is like intimate hip hop and pop. That's how I've been framing it. For me, I like doing single songs, but I also really like doing projects. And I know that we're in the era where I feel like there's a lot of noise where people hold people off from doing projects because of the space that people think that we're in. But I listen to projects all the time. Like if Drake's dropping, I'm listening to the whole project. I listen to the whole Diddy project. It was 24 songs. Like if there's people I care about, like I listen to the songs. I listen to projects. Like I think it's a weird mindset I think people have gotten into it, where it's like you need to only do singles. Well, it's like I just listen to good music. If you have an interesting story, like you're someone I'm like interested in, like I'm gonna listen to it. So for me, and I like telling stories, and I felt like this is the way I wanted to do it for this, because like in a project, to me that's like an opportunity to tell like a chapter in my life. And this particular project, Love All, is like the last like year and a half of my life, where, you know, a lot of this stuff we're talking about right now, like it's just, I live out in the burbs. I never went into the city like for nothing. And like to have my whole day-to-day basis of like what I do on a day-to-day basis and the different type of environments, like everything's changed. So it was like it's time for like that to come out. It's time for like that story to come out and share that with people. And it's music that I've just been setting aside over the past year and a half. And once I got to the point of like, I always know when I'm at the point when I'm like working on the next stuff and I'm like, this is ready to go. Like it's time for this chapter to come out. So Love All dropping tonight as we speak. So very excited to share it with everyone.
I love that. I love the name too. Yeah. Definitely nice vibe. So you said this is kind of like a recap of what's going on right now in your life. So how does this kind of compare to some of the earlier things that you put out?
Oh, the music I make now is way different than when I started making it. When I started making stuff, oh man. Oh man. No, but I just mean like, it's just like, we're talking about like, you know, we were talking earlier how it's like, I make like 10 songs. By the 10th one, I'm like the first one.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta understand, like, I've made like 200 songs. Like, so.
Okay.
I like when people start asking me like names of songs and stuff like that, they just be like,
That's
I've got a lot of songs,
Yeah.
especially the older stuff. Like, I just don't remember stuff like that at all, and I don't know why anyone else would either. But, so the stuff that I make now, like my sound's like completely different. Like when I was first starting too, it was kind of similar to how I approach performing.
Okay.
I just was like, if I felt anything towards anything musically, like, oh, I like the sound, like I'm gonna just do it. Like I don't care what it is. Like I don't care if it's like I'm trying some like hip hop thing, if I'm trying some Fall Out Boy thing, if I'm trying like different type of energy, like let's just try it out. Like let's just see what's happening, like and see what ends up happening from all of it. And I was just in the mindset of like, let's just do a bunch of reps, similar to how I approach performing. And I mean, like I guess that came before performing, which like ended up maybe how develop my mindset towards performing, because I kind of looked at it like a similar way. So yeah, I mean the stuff I was making back then was like way different and way more trash than it is now.
Okay.
But I think for people to have the mindset like of look at it from that perspective, it's like you're learning, you're just trying stuff out, so like go figure out what you like. And then tied into what I would like recommend to people as well too, like once you get to a point where you feel good enough, or even if you're like feel just about good enough, you should probably go anyways. Go perform your stuff in front of people, because that's going to be a different vibe than like, because I spent a lot of time like, and I feel like a lot of producers, especially in this day and age, especially producers more so than artists, I think people spend a lot of time on their own making music. Like I know that's how that is. Good and bad things about that.
So you don't have like a partner or a team that you regularly work with?
No, I have people that I work with.
Okay.
But I would say on individual songs, I've maybe like 3 to 5 times I've gone back and forth with someone, and we've done like someone does parts of the song and I do other parts of the song. Okay. So for the most part, it's either like they'll have a track ready and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go record it at my house. I have everything set up at my house, so I can just record right there. I mix engineer myself, so I can be able to do that as well too. So everything's set up like that. Where was I going with that? There was somewhere I was going with that. But the expectation, I think, just same as my performance. Just make whatever you want to make. Try it out. See what feels good. Okay. But I think for people that are producing now, like it's good to get out and feel your music like live. Okay. Like I think I would have benefited from that as well too, sooner had I would have done that. But then again, like I'm not gonna blame myself for like what I don't know at the time. So that's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely like the growth. You know, it is necessary, and I just like how you take it as a lesson. And now you're in this space where you have this project you're really excited about.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what do you hope people will get from this project?
Wow. I was actually spending some time, like, it's a busy day today. We're going to be, like, getting back to the house and, like, posting and getting things ready. So I was actually, like, writing, like, a little post up from what I had. And, for me, I hope what people get out of it is that they feel inspired to do whatever it is in their life that they're excited about doing and they want to pursue and go after it. And then tied into that, like, as a musician, like, for me, like, I think about music as, like, creating moments and, like, memories for people. Because for me, that's kind of what it is. Like, let me just, like, I'll take you there, so you know what I mean. Like, I remember, like, being, like, 11 out in my grandparents' lake. Not too far from here, actually. They're like an hour north and kind of close to Milwaukee.
Okay.
And I'd be out there listening to Shut It Down by Drake, like on the tube. Like we're just out swimming, like, and it's like, I know, like, I directly connect that moment with Shut It Down by Drake. Like, or it's like, there's different types of, like, to create a background, a soundtrack for people's life, to create moments. Like, that's kind of how I approach music from just, like, a technical standpoint and, like, where I hope it hits people. Like, and a lot of times, you just got to put it out. Because you also, like, you just don't know what's going to connect. And, like, directly speaking of that and, like, tying into, like, one of the songs off the project, one of the songs that, like, literally, like, changed a lot for me, like, when I've been out performing, is Drown. Which, this is a song that, like, I put out earlier in the spring. I had, like, 5 or 6 singles. I was like, yeah, let's put all these out. Like, I didn't really think anything crazy about any one of them. I just liked all of them. And this song just kind of took off. Like, and it got to the point where, like, in a week, like, I go out to Tribe and, like, everyone knew the words to the chorus. I'm like, everyone's singing the words. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, and it's just like, I never thought anything twice about that song. Like, I thought it was a good song, but it's like, you kind of gotta put it out there and let the world decide, you know, like, oh, cool, I like this, or like, don't like this, or whatever. And, you know, I feel like that's a really important thing for, I know how I approach music, because it's like, the people will decide what they like. And, you know, if you feel, as long as you feel good about it, or you have like a reason to put it out, like, I think then go with it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, you finna make me get emotional.
Oh, wait, why?
Made me get emotional with that. Yeah. No,
Okay.
because I resonate a lot with that as far as like a song connecting to a memory, hearing something and it taking you back to a place. Like, to me, that's definitely a big reason why I love music. As a music writer, when I listen to things, my job is to paint how it feels to me and make you see that picture. So I love that you said that song and it instantly took you to this moment, which, you know, might have been a minor moment, but still, now this moment lives in your mind with this, like, soundtrack. Like,
Yeah.
music is powerful on so many levels. So I just love that you did that.
Oh, do you have a song? Like, is there a song for you
I
that
have
you think
so
of like
many,
that?
but yeah, I do, actually. For me, it would have to be Isley Brothers. I love Isley Brothers. They're
Okay.
I love everything about them. But Choosy Lover, my dad is from Chicago. He's from out west. And growing up, you know, make that drive, go see the family, whatever. But he would always play this song on the ride back. It was like the first song, and that's how we knew we were going back home. Every time he put that song on, I knew we were on the highway. I knew that we were heading back home. I hated it growing up, and I love the song now.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I hear it, I'm like, turn that shit up. So I just like that you know, because that instantly, that took me to that moment, and it's like it's a good feeling. It's like, oh my God, I love this song because of this memory with my father. So I like that you said that.
That's dope.
That's dope. That's really cool. Y'all, he getting real up in here, y'all. He getting real up in here. But no, I'm excited again. Congratulations on the project. I can't wait to hear it in full and just see everybody's response to it.
Yeah.
We gotta give it up for Chase, though, y'all. He been going crazy. He been dropping gems up in here. I love it. I love the honesty. I love the transparency. You giving very Mr. Miyagi right now with the lessons. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you be taking notes, telling these artists.
Okay. I hope it's not like coming off like so like that. Because I'm just sharing my story and like hoping hoping to share like things that I've done that have been like, you know, someone can get value out of it. So
definitely. So I've been drilling you, you know what I'm saying? But now the time has come, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's the 10 minutes of honesty.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay. Let's get into it.
I think you're gonna do great.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, first question. Y'all know the pink ones.
You got like the Halloween themed colors going on.
They were spicy.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. This is the first one. Let's see. Would you rather know the date you die or the way you die?
Wow. Do I have to choose?
Yeah, you gotta choose.
Oh, man.
You gotta choose, Chase. You gotta choose.
I think I would choose the date. I feel like, man, you're making me think about this like real quick here. I think I would choose the date because I think if I knew the way, it would way psych me out psychologically.
Okay.
Like, because especially if it was like something like really specific. Like, it could be something like, you know, like it might be like a heart attack and now I'm thinking about that all the time. Or like, but it could be like, yo, you drown in a lake, and you're just like, what? Like, and then you're like, I'm not going in water.
I can't go in no water.
I can't go.
I can't swim. I can't do none of that.
Yeah, so
I
think I'm gonna go with date. Okay. But boy, okay.
That's tough.
Okay.
That's tough right there.
Yeah.
Okay, you gonna go with the date? Yeah, you're wrong.
That was like a Halloween themed question. I feel like
it was.
Yeah.
That's ironic that came up.
Yeah.
Name a celebrity that is overrated.
A celebrity that's overrated.
And this is pure opinion, y'all. Okay, this ain't, feel me. This don't take away
I feel
from
like
greatness.
I feel like I'm having to think like very hard about this, and I don't like that. Cause like I kind of feel like my genuine answers, I feel like I don't really like care at all. Like or like, but like. I just feel like if I'm like wrapped up in that, I'm just like, you know, I was talking to a buddy about this on our way. We were driving home from the place I was telling you yesterday, and he was getting really emotional about the Bulls. And he was like, man, the Bulls lost. The Bulls have sucked for like 15 years. And like, I grew up like a Bulls fan, and I was like, I get it. When I was younger, I was really emotionally attached, but I feel like if I'm like that emotionally attached into like a team or a person that's like a celebrity that I don't know like that, or like I'm really trying to cast some like crazy hate on someone I don't know, I'm just like, bro, I got something wrong with my life. So like, you might not like that answer, but that's my actual genuine.
That's fine. You can answer. You can answer. That's your definitely your answer. For me, it would be City Girl. So just put that out there. Next question.
Okay.
Do you prefer to wake up early in the morning or stay up late at night?
Oh boy. Listen, I don't even get home sometimes from performing at venues till like 3:30 in the morning. So
do you stay up late after that for a while?
Well, when I get home, then it's eat, then it's watch footage, depending on the night, you know. And then sometimes I'll post stuff, and then I go to bed. So, I mean, yeah, I've gone to bed at like 5 before. That's pretty rare. I would say like normal I get to bed around like 3 if it's like late, but you just don't know, because it's like I'm out late all the time in the city, and then it's like anywhere from like 45 to an hour 15 to get home, depending where it is. So you
have to get up early usually, or no?
Yeah, I gotta get up around like 9 or so, like 9 or 10. But I'm really like, I got a routine, and my routine wakes me up, because it's just like I'm up, cold shower immediately.
Oh damn.
Like I'm not playing around. Like I'm at a point where like I love it. Like I wake up like I love the cold shower. No. But like once you get into it, it's like I'm telling you, it's like a whole energy boost, and like I feel bad if I don't take one. Like yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your ritual. I ain't gonna hate it.
Yeah.
You in the cold showers, Chase.
I gotta have it. It's like it's essential. It's essential for everything.
Got it. Okay, next question. This is probably one of the most talked about questions that we get on here.
Okay.
So people always ask, well, I ain't gonna say people, but this always comes up. How much sex is too much sex?
You're not gonna like my genuine answer, but I'm just like, I don't really care that much. Like, I would be like, I'm pretty casual. Like, the way when I look at relationships, is like, do I like the girl? Are you cool? Do I want to hang out with you? What's the vibe? If that's the vibe, like if we got a good agenda, I don't really care about the rest. Like as long as everything else is there.
So you don't just do hookups. You only like relationship.
Very rarely. I like having like relationship. Like I like having someone that I can talk to and like really have like a bond with, because I'm just like not like. I'm not gonna say like I've hooked up like once or twice, but like I'm just like. I enjoy having like the companionship, you know. So like, outside of that, like I don't really. Yeah.
Sex ain't, it ain't everything. Sex is not everything.
No, definitely not for me. So yeah.
I like that. I like that answer. Okay. I like that answer. Okay, last question.
All right.
Let's see.
This has been fun. That dead one kind of threw me for a loop.
I don't know. Somebody sent that in. Y'all be sending crazy questions.
Oh, these are from people.
Some people, yeah. Some viewers have sent in questions.
Okay.
If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be?
Wow. This is something I really struggled at for a while. So this is just off the top of my head, but I would I would encourage people to be compassionate towards other people, even if they don't like them. Like, I might just give you guys like a little like backstory, like to try to like give like a real life event that happened over this past year. We're out in the burbs. Like we had a weird situation come where my grandma called me, and she was like, some people came to the house and said there was a gas leak. I'm like, what? Like, and I told my mom, like, well, what? That's kind of weird. And then we're like, something's up. Like, and we went over there. These people went in and robbed my grandma while she was at her house.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and my grandma's really old. And they scared her. They freaked her out. But we ended up. My mom and I thought something was up. She really thought something was up. She thought something was wrong. So we both drove over there. And, thankfully, like, she wasn't hurt. Everything was okay. They took some sentimental stuff, but they didn't really take too much stuff. But it's like, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, at first I was like, okay, this is like crazy. Like, this is like a crazy situation. But like the point where I was like going to it was like, I'm like thinking towards those people. I'm like, my instinct would be like to be mad at them or like to like have some like hate or like bad energy, which like, but I was kind of like, what had to happen for these people's lives to like they're doing this type of stuff, and like how did you get to there? And I'm like, like, I obviously felt bad for my grandma because that's just like it's like a messed up thing to do. Like if you're like a human being, that's just like a messed up thing to do. But I think at the same time too, I was just like, I don't know what like took those people to like get to that situation, but like, I don't know, man. I hope that they like figure out a way to get, compassion and love, because it's just like there's so much of our lives that is just based off of like energy, and I feel like for someone to get to that point, or like we could take something like less extreme, like someone that's just like, I don't like this person like sucks, da 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 da. It's like, did you have a bad day today? Like what you all right, man? Like
that's true.
And I feel like just on a day-to-day basis, I feel like to try to be thoughtful about what someone might be going through and understand the perspective a little bit more and have a little bit more love, a little bit more compassion for people. That's something I've, been trying to, get my brain wired into. So,
yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Definitely. That's a great answer. I work in nonprofit world, so I definitely I'm always that person that always comes with that state of mind as far as like maybe something's wrong with them. So I definitely like how you just did that. But I ain't gonna lie, I might have pieced them up because y'all done robbed Granny. Y'all didn't have to do that now.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't have to rob Granny now. Y'all could have robbed some young person or something like that. But come on now.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that she was not hurt.
Yes, we're very blessed, very
That's
fortunate.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chase, y'all. He done snapped on the 10 minutes of honesty, being very honest and transparent. I love that. Definitely did your thing. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. That was a lot of fun. Now, like, I don't want to know the answer to that first question. I'm telling you, like, now it's throwing me for a loop.
He gonna be
do I know how I die or
He's
when
gonna
I
wake you
die?
up at night. You gonna have a premonition about it. So outside of the music, the year is ending, the holiday seasons are coming up. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you have, on your roster that we can expect from you?
We're going to be just doing a lot of content surrounding the project. Like, my whole vision with it is, I have this whole project. I want to put it out. So I'm not just looking to put it out, like, in one weekend and be done with it. Like, we're going to do a lot of different stuff. Like, just like here we are, like, talking about the project, whether it's interviews, podcasts, shooting material for it. Got some other different type of stuff lined up. And for any Chicago creatives that are dope and want to hit me up, you can hit me up. My Instagram, at Chase Davidson Music. We're putting a team together of different people. If you got something you're passionate about and, whether it's videography, you want to be on-screen talent, you want to do interview, whatever, feel free to hit me up. If you're passionate, let's work. Let's do something together because we're making a lot of different things happen for the project. So that's the focus right now.
Yeah. And then one more time, where can people get in, tap in with you, and connect?
Yeah, so the best place to find me is at Chase Davidson Music on Instagram. I'm on there all the time. I'm out there. If you want to tap into the music, see what's going on, you can find it there. I got performances going on all the time in the city, whether it's open mics, showcases, different types of events going on. We're out all the time, so come and tap in, man. And Love All is out everywhere, man, so go check that out. I'll give you guys just a little spoiler. My personal favorite song on the project is called One More Night. It's the second to last song on the project. I'm excited to share with everyone.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We should listen to that first.
No. You should. You high key. Like I hope
Listen to it in
people.
order?
I hope people listen to it in order because I really like. It's 9 songs, so for me, like I'm just commuting. My commute back like into the city, like I'd have a little time to spare and I'd get to listen to the whole thing. Like for me, that's how I'm gonna remember this project is just like going in, driving in and backing out in the city. You know, whether I'm coming home at 2:30 at night, listening to it going down Ogden Avenue, or coming in and just that song, that project lives in my car. Like I love it. Sounds so good in the car. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, y'all. Chase Davidson in the building. Okay. Dropping his new project. It will be on all streaming platforms. Midnight?
Down to midnight.
Okay.
Yep.
Midnight.
Yep.
Okay.
So make sure you guys tap in with him and follow him. Again, I appreciate you for coming on Pillow Talk. Man, you really dropped a lot of gems, and I just want to, congratulate you on, of course, your project, but just everything you've learned, in your journey. I think you gave a lot of personal, perspective, doing music, producing, just learning about yourself. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Robin. It's like I said, I've been watching what you've been doing from afar a little bit, keeping up with your I watched the one you did with Derek. I watched most of what you did with T. So anyone that's got good energy, you can just tell. And I was like, I want to be a part of this. So thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure being on. We had a great time.
Yes, thank you. Period,
y'all. Okay, and of course, you guys, shout out to all the Pillow Talk Nation for tuning in and rocking with your girl. Pillow Talk Podcast, voted Chicago's top podcast of 2023, streaming on all platforms.
As always, sending love and light to all of y'all on this day, man.
Much love. Take care. Dope.